In this demonstration, we are going to cover the basics of Microsoft Access. Microsoft Access is a database application, and for this demonstration, we're going to create two tables, a query, a form, and a report. So we're going to open Access by clicking on the purple A in our taskbar. We're going to create a blank desktop database, and right here is where it asks us what we want to save it as. This is when it saves the file. There's usually a lot of confusion on when somebody goes to save a form or a report, they want to know where it's at. It's all contained within this single database file. So we'll put cookie sales. I'm going to browse for a folder. I'm going to put it in CMG folder. I'm going to save it as cookie sales. And I'll click create. Alright, in here it has taken us to a brand new table, and we want to create this table for sales reps. So I'm going to click on the design view. I find that a lot easier to work with. So I'm going to click on this triangle, pencil, and ruler, and it's asking me what I want to save the table as. So I'm going to save the table as sales reps, and click OK. Next, it wants to know what my fields are going to be, a little bit of information about what type of data will go in them, and then we can put a description in so we understand what the purpose of each field is. So the first one is, what is the unique identifier for the record? So the first one, it'll be sales rep ID. We're going to select text and field size of 4 characters. And it's going to be a unique ID for each sales rep. This is also the primary key. A primary key is a unique identifier, and an example of that would be a social security number for a person. No two people should have the same social security number, even though there could be multiple people with the same name. For example, there's more than one John Smith, but a social security number would identify them. Alright, so we'll go with first name. We'll go with text. We'll go with 20 characters. Go with last name. 20 characters. Go with email address. And for this, we'll make it up to 100 characters. You can see them going down to field size in 100. And then commission, we'll just go with commission. And for this, we're going to go with number. And then we're going to select an option within. So we're going to go with decimal. Alright, now I'm ready to go enter in some information. So I click my Save button, and I'm going to click on the View button. So I'm going to enter in the sales rep ID. So our first one will be Charlie Brown. And have a 5% commission. Oops, now I don't like that it gave me a 0. So I need to go in and make sure that my changes here are appropriate, or my value. So I'll click back on design, and I'm going to go to my number. In decimal places, I'm going to select 2. Save, and go back to my design view. Try that again. Still didn't work. Go back to design view. Actually, we'll change this to a double. 2 decimal places. Go to view. I didn't save, and it says you must first save your table. Sure. There we go. All right, next one will be all right, so we'll go with Lucy Van Pelt for our next. With a commission rate of 6%. And Sally Brown with a commission of 5%. Okay, so we've got our sales reps entered in. I can close that table just by clicking on the X for close sales reps. I can always view my objects. Oops. I don't know why it's not showing it here. Let's see. Okay, there we go. My screen had just not refreshed. So there's my sales reps table. I can open it and close it. And I'm going to go back and create another table though. So I'm going to click on Create Table. I'm going to go to my design view. And this is going to be customers. So for this one, I need a unique identifier. This will be customer ID. Go short text on this one. Be 4-character string. And for this, it'll be unique ID of customer. We'll go first name. And that'll be 20 characters in length. Last name, 20 characters in length. Address, we'll give them 50 for that. City, give them 20. State, this would be only 2 characters. Zip code. This is going to be text, not a number, because zip codes could start with a 0, thus meaning it would drop the leading 0. And we'll go with 5 characters on that. Balance, so how much money do they owe? So and then sales rep. That's going to be a number. Actually, no, that's going to be text, because the sales rep ID links to the unique identifier of the sales rep within the sales rep table. So now we've got customers. So customer will be A001. So Garfield Cat, 123 Main, Anyville, Michigan, 48506, and that was $500. And he has a sales rep of Charlie Brown, so CB01. Next one can be Jerry Seinfeld. And if I try to keep typing, so for example, the state is only 2 characters in length. If I keep typing, it just won't let me. It'll give me an error sound, but no error on my screen. Sales rep of Sally Brown. The customer ID can be anything as long as it's unique and 4 characters in length. So here, and she has Charlie Brown. And then next, and has Lucy. Okay, so with this, we can see that Charlie Brown has 2 customers, Sally Brown has 1, and Lucy Van Pelt has 1. We've got our customers listed out, and that's all of our data. As I've moved between these fields, it's actually saved to the database. I don't have to click save, but I always can if it just makes me feel better. Next, we're going to create a query, because I want to see customers, and then I want to see their sales rep name. So we're normalizing the data here, meaning that we don't have to list out Charlie Brown's name multiple times, because it all links back to his unique sales rep ID. So therefore, if his email address changes or commission rate changes, we change it once in the sales rep table, and it affects all customers. So I'm going to go create. I'm going to go with query design. I'll select the customers table and the sales reps table. Make them a little bit larger just so we can see everything work here. And now I want to create a join. So I'm going to drag sales rep from customers to sales rep ID. And that created a join between those. So now what we knew as a relation between these, Access is now aware of. So I'm going to go and add customer first name, last name, balance, and then sales rep first name and last name. If I run this now, I can see customer first name, last name, balance, and then the sales rep first name and last name. I'll close my query, and it's going to ask me to save. And if I go into sales rep and I change it from Charlie Brown, I don't know, let's say he changes his last name to Smith. I'll change it to Smith. Close sales rep. I'm going to go run my query. Oops, my screen hasn't refreshed again. There we go. And to do that, I hit F5 on my keyboard. And I can see that it's now Charlie Smith. So it updated all records associated with Charlie. I'll go back and fix this. Change it back to Brown. And I can always go back and verify in my query. And there we go. All right, next, I'm going to create a report. So I'm going to click on Create. Report Wizard. I'm going to go to my customers table. And all I want for this is first name, last name, and balance of customers. So I just double clicked on those fields. Click Next. I don't need any grouping, but I do want it sorted. So I want to just sort by last name, then first name in ascending order, meaning A to Z. And then for style and layout, we're just going to go with the defaults. And for the title of my report, I want it to be Customer Balance Report. And I change that, and that'll also be the name of this report. I'll click Finish. And there we go. I can see the last name, first name, and balance of each report, and it's in alphabetical order. I'm going to create a form. A form is an easy method to enter information. So I'll click on Create. Go with, actually, we'll do this a little bit different. We're going to go to Tables. We'll go to Customers. And Form. And what that did is it created a form based on the table that we had selected. Now if I click on View, I can see my information. Instead of the tabular form, I can see it actually in a nice, easy to use input screen. I'll make sure I save it. I'm going to change it to customer information. And there we go. I can verify what we've done by clicking the down arrow, looking at my queries. Whoops. Looking at my form, I have to hit refresh again on my screen, which was F5. Tables. And that concludes the very basics of creating a database in Microsoft Excel. All I have to do now is close the database. It's not going to ask me to save because it was already saved at creation. And that's it. That concludes our demonstration on database.